Merry Christmas. Happy
Hey,
holidays.
I was trying to let you in. I was like I saw you. I was just coming back from changing my pee pad because I'm coughing so much. I'm having to I'm coughing so much that I'm peeing because I'm old. And so when I pee, when I cough, and because of whatever's going on, I'm coughing so much. So I'm like peeing a lot. Like, ladies, you feel me, right? You know what
I
I'm
was going to
talking
say, the
about.
listeners have to know.
They
There
have to
are
know
many people that relate.
that relate to this. And if you don't relate to it yet, you will. Um, I mean, I didn't even have I had a C-section, so it's not like I even have the excuse of like, oh, I don't know, my urethra and my badge got stretched out. Like, I don't know why what that is about, but people are like, oh, I have all these kids, that's why I pee. No, I had one kid and I had a C-section. Like, it has nothing. I don't think it has anything to do with squishing the child out of your vagina.
It
I
can be
think it's
hormonal.
I,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of other factors that are involved, but I just know that when my stress incontinence, which I think is the official term for it, because I don't have bladder leak problems like normally. Like, that's not like a thing that happens for me. But I
So
do
basically, what you're telling me is for your stocking stuffer or for your extra Christmas gift, like your small one, I need to get you like disposable underwear. Or
basically.
like,
I mean, I wear like pee pads or I have period underwear that I wear.
ah,
Um, but which is so funny because I don't get a period and I haven't gotten one in 15 years, but I have period underwear because I pee when I cough and
mm.
sneeze. And so, yeah, so that's a great way to start off this episode of Thousand Pound Sisters Fat Friday. Welcome. Welcome to all. We'll talk about what happens to you as a woman when you get older and all your bodily fluids come out of parts of your body. But yeah, I'm sick, so I don't know what's happening. I'm a lot worse than I was yesterday when you saw me, Lexi, but
Aw.
I'm starting to like feel it the rest of my body and not just congested. So I don't know. I'm all hot and cold, and that's all normal for me. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be sick during Christmas.
No, at least you can rest up the next 2 days, right?
Yeah, well, the kids are coming home tomorrow, and then we're doing
Mhm.
Christmas on Christmas Eve. So like I have like today and tomorrow to finish like getting shit ready. And I still have a couple
Mm.
things that I was gonna do today. But I don't know if I can because it's just like my body, like just like getting myself from downstairs to upstairs to record was like a lot for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you should just rest today and get it all tomorrow. Just
Yeah,
take one full day of rest.
might do that. Might do that. Yeah,
Binge watch some shows.
binge watch. Yeah, a lot of binge watching happening lately. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. They've
I
been
feel like
playing a Below Deck marathon on
that's
Bravo.
right.
So that's been like my background noise, my like emotional support background noise that I've had on in the background while I'm doing, whatever else I'm doing in the house. So
Yep.
anyway, Fat Friday, Thousand Pound Sisters, here we go.
I feel like we needed a trigger warning for this episode. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like I was
yeah.
like, I don't know. I feel like we
There's
need like
a
that.
lot.
If you are being abused, call this hotline support.
I feel like there should have been something a little more than there was because you just scratch the surface of some of the things that Michael is saying, and what they are saying has been the sort of dynamic between them. And you realize like the
The
financial
narrative.
the financial control, the financial abuse, all of the forms of abuse that are actually happening there. It's like, yeah, there should have been a trigger warning. But what I'm loving so far about the season, we've only had 2 episodes. They're dealing with shit. Like, there's a lot happening, and
Yeah,
not
like last season was like filler. Not filler, because Tammy was in rehab, but it was a lot of filler, you
there was
know?
a lot of non-serious, just like this is what they're doing, a lot of like, here's the family getting together and eating gator.
Yeah.
But this, like, so far, like, hey, let's have some families breaking generations of trauma bonding. Like, okay,
Hmm.
like, you
No,
know,
definitely. And the fact that Amy and Tammy are actually physically back together now,
uh-huh,
because before they were separate and it was hard to feel that same like dynamic, that same energy that they had
mhm.
in previous episodes or
Right,
seasons, I
right.
should say.
The whole family
Um,
there together, and
right. And I'm like, okay, I'm liking this so
yeah,
far.
same,
Yeah.
same,
So
agree.
we're talking about, yeah, season 5, episode 2, fork you, I'm done. And previously we see again Tammy leaving rehab and leaving Caleb behind. Amy running around with the kids, stressed out, while Michael's sitting around twiddling his thumbs, playing video games, and I don't know what else he's doing.
Looking useless.
And and the good eye looking at Chris comment made by Amanda pushed Amy over the edge to have a breakdown due to all of her stresses leading up to that. And so we left off at that big fight that Amy had with Amanda. And we talked about it last week too, how the family dynamic is such in that they all make fun of each other all the time.
Right.
And
We talked about this last week, and this is like the kind of comments that they make to each other. You know, they're making fun of Tammy's trach hole. They're making, you know, they've made fun of Amy's eyes. They've made fun of each other's fat. They do all of this, not necessarily that it's healthy, but that's how they interact.
Exactly. And Tammy said that, I mean, Amy has made fun of her eyes or her forehead and her teeth and yada yada. And I'm like,
forehead, her fat forehead.
But her fat forehead has gotten thinner.
Yeah, now that she's losing the weight.
Yeah, when I saw those flashbacks, I was like, oh my God, it really has gone down.
Yeah, her forehead fat.
Anywho, Chris is taking Tammy to the grocery store and wants to see where she is mentally after leaving Caleb. Apparently, Tammy had a breakdown crying at the gas station, leaving rehab. And Chris didn't want to probe too much into it. She didn't want to open up about it, but he knew it was about Caleb.
Yeah. I think this was really neat. I liked seeing this dynamic when Chris came over and was like, hey, look, I know this has got to be really hard for you, having left Caleb there and you're not. Like, tell me about that. I appreciate you. You know, like, wow, that's really like healthy sibling dynamic relationship where it's not like, you know, he's trying to minimize her feelings. Like, we all know that this is not a good decision for her. But they're supporting her and support, you know, they're supporting her emotions and realize that she's, you know.
I feel like he's a lot of times jumped in the past and been like the reasonable one. You know what I mean? Like the calm and like, I don't know. He just seems pretty steady throughout all the seasons. He's there for everyone constantly.
Yeah.
Consistently is the word I'm looking
for.
Yeah.
I really liked that dynamic that Chris was like, hey, I'm taking the time. I just want to let you know. I hear you. I know this has got to be hard for you. And I love you and support you. And
definitely.
think about how much that must mean to Tammy, you know, especially if she is getting a lot of why did you marry him and what are you doing, you know, which we all say, we're saying, but as a sibling, like he recognized that's not what she needs. She needs sibling love. And I think that's great. So
I agree. Definitely agree. And Tammy has Tammy has a history of repressing feelings and blocking things out, which I think is a part of the reason why she is morbidly obese is because she's using food as an escape. So
yeah,
Chris is kind of trying to get her out of that, right? By like saying like, it's okay if you want to talk to us. Like,
yeah, talk to us. Don't bottle it up.
Right.
Clearly people have been going to therapy and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we see a great moment of Tammy finally, after she says 15 to 20 years, finally being able to sit in the front seat of the van.
How amazing was this scene on so many levels? One was when Chris told her, and this is something I noticed on my rewatch of it. I didn't notice it the first time, probably because there was so much going on. You know, I feel like there was a lot and then to take in. And so I had to watch it a second time to make sure I took everything in. And I'd missed this the first time. You know, he's saying, hey, we're going to try to put you in the front seat. And instead of her freaking out and being like, no, and automatically shutting it down, which is her norm in the past, she's like, okay, if you think, let's try it. Whereas before,
that is not
that.
Yes, that's not.
She wouldn't have even
tried. So true.
She would have been just like, no, I'm just going to say, or you go to the store. I'm not going to go. Right. And she was like, okay, I'll try. And, you know, with the idea that she didn't think she was going to fit. And so if she didn't, she would just sit in the back seat like she had. But she did fit in the front seat. And so on so many levels, I loved that scene. And being able to sit in the front seat of a car that you haven't been able to do because you're away for 15 years, like that has not been my experience. So I can't even imagine the feeling of success that must be for you. Like I can only imagine. And I think that's amazing that she did.
Yeah. And her smile was so big. Like she looked so happy sitting in the front seat. And then when she made the comment, you're experiencing everything different from a different point of view. And it
Literally, she's on
makes,
the front
yeah,
seat of a car versus the floor of the back seat of the van, you know?
right. And it makes you realize and just kind of take the time out to be like, wait, am I appreciating the things around me? Just sitting in the front seat and being able to see the road clearly or see the
Mhm.
trees clearly. Like basic things that we do on a day-to-day basis and don't even pay attention to is
Right.
something that somebody hasn't been able to really truly take in for 15 to 20 years. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And did you see this on the same thing, like same kind of point is our friend Wes from 600 Pound Life, he was
Hmm.
posting a picture recently, he was getting a pedicure. And he hadn't been able to
Yes.
do that in forever because he couldn't fit in this, he's recently was able to start driving again, which, was a big deal for him. And then he's now getting a pedicure, which he used to not fit in the seats. And I'm like, that's fucking amazing. Like
It
these things
is.
are amazing. These are things that some people take for granted, myself included.
Hmm.
And so I loved seeing Tammy going, okay, well, we'll try and not freaking out and then actually getting there. It was so good. I was happy for her.
Definitely. Tammy mentions that all of the food in rehab were made by the staff, so she never had to make her own food. So now she has to buy healthy food and make it herself, which
I
I
would
think
hope that
maybe
there was some kind of either through Dr. Smith or through the rehab. Probably not through the rehab because I feel like that's like a really like they're not gonna do this, but like a
no.
class where they teach you how to shop and cook. Like I
I'm
don't
sure
think that
Dr. Smith has to have a
Dr.
nutritionist or
Smith
something on board. Yeah,
would his
probably.
program, but I don't think the rehab itself would.
Yeah, we need to get him on the show.
Yeah. Well, he said he would come on,
I
so
know,
we
and then
just
we
need to
fell off.
schedule.
Yeah,
There's so many that we have people like lined up to do. And we have to just schedule it. Like once we get through like the first week of January, I think we might be able to
the
start scheduling.
holidays.
Yeah.
Hmm. And so yeah, we see him shopping, and afterwards she's pushing the big cart down to the van with her little footy socks on.
I know.
And I'm like,
Um,
look at her, she's so cute.
yeah, like pushing the cart, using the cart as her walker, which I'll be honest, I've done when my MS is like acting up and I'll use the cart as a walker basically.
Yep.
Um,
My mom
so
does it all the time.
I do, yeah, I think it's great. Built-in walker, um, so yeah. And her saying, like, yeah, I think the cream cheese wasn't a great idea, but I'm like, if that's the worst thing you're getting, maybe, hopefully she got light cream cheese. I don't know. But still,
Yeah, totally.
compared to how she used to eat. That's fantastic, I think.
Yeah.
And
Well,
one of the other things she said, she's like, I don't necessarily like healthy, but I have to eat it, which is a
mhm.
complete change of her attitude from before. Whereas I don't like it, I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah, and do you
Now
remember
she
when
knows, she recognizes that she has to change her eating habits to have the, healthier life.
she was ordering all of those like food delivery meals and then she would eat like 20 a day?
Right.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. So I'm glad that she's finally actually cooking for
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah.
And then we see the free Tammy hats that Amy got the family. I was laughing so
I
hard.
was
Orange hats,
dying. I
black
loved it.
print
The orange and black free Tammy.
instead of free Britney. I was like, oh my gosh.
She's like, I'm already free.
Yeah, she's like, I ain't Britney. I'm already free. Oh my God. Well, Amy apologizes how she left the other day with the family arguing to Tammy. And she said, she acted like a 2-year-old. She was just so stressed out and busy in the morning and with Tammy coming home. But Tammy said she never wanted to be a part of her stress. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, this
Oh,
whole conversation I thought was so healthy. Like Amy apologizing for her, acting out. I mean, I think we all completely understood why she acted out, for her to take ownership of what she said and did. Like, that's great. She's like, look, I could have handled it better.
yeah.
I'm distressed. I don't know what's happening. Right. And and what was I going to say? This and what was Tammy
You were
saying?
on a roll.
I was.
Tammy said she never wanted to be a part of her
Oh
stress
yeah, right,
and
yeah,
not a
yeah.
burden. Yeah.
So like they have this back and forth about whether Tammy's a burden or not, right? And Tammy's like, I didn't want to be a burden. And Amy's like, no, you're not a burden. Like I do it because I love you. Like
Hmm.
this whole exchange, I think, is so important because I think that's such an underlying issue for them that because Amy has taken care of her and the responsibility for Tammy has fallen primarily to Amy. And so this feeling like Tammy might be a burden on Amy, I think was like a conversation that definitely needed to happen so they could have it out and be like, no, 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 you're not a burden.
Yeah.
But for them to each recognize that and to talk about it versus just yelling and screaming at each other because these are the underlying feelings and they can't identify them and don't know how to put it into words and stuff, which is how they used to roll.
Yeah.
Now they're like, these are the feelings. This is the underlying reasons why the feelings are there. Let's discuss it. Like, who are these healthy people? Like,
I know.
what is this healthy emotional dynamic they're having?
Definitely. And then I like
Healing generations of trauma.
On Amy's on the fly interview, production was asking her about, I guess, questions about the relationship and whatever. And Amy goes, you could murder somebody and I'll still take your side because you are my sister. And then the producer was like, really? And Amy was like, no, probably not, to be honest with you. She's like, yeah, that bitch murdered somebody. Go to hell. And producer was like, will you help her bury the body? And Amy was like, hell no, go call Amanda for that one. Oh my God. I miss this. I miss the humor. I miss just the back and forth, you know?
They just like they interact, but I feel like it so far is their interactions and their playful, like making fun of each other. It only goes so far, right? Before they would take it too far and it would turn into this big ugly fight because it would turn into these resentments and stuff. And now it doesn't do that. Like they have like the fun joking, but when it gets really serious about like real things, they have the conversation about it.
And I think a lot of it too is Tammy's reaction to things, because Tammy has changed and she is not as reactive or I guess reclusive. Like she'd pull back and kind of, I don't know, she'd talking
shut down. She'd completely shut down. She'd pulled back. She'd shut down emotionally. She shut down everything. Right. And now she's working with those feelings. And you eat all these things and you drink all these things and you take all these drugs because you don't want to feel feelings. And now you have to feel them and identify them and deal with them. And that's fucked up. Yeah. Like that's hard. Really hard. It is hard.
Can we talk about the charcuterie board?
The coochie board?
Yeah.
that coochie board ended up looking good. I would have eaten it.
Right? Bend over. It's a good paddle. And then Tammy said, I'm hitting your coochie with the coochie board. Little Glenn was sitting there laughing, looking so adorable.
Yeah, the babies. A baby.
Glenn looks exactly like Amy.
Yeah, which is good since Gage looks exactly like Michael.
Exactly. I was like, oh my gosh.
No winner.
Yeah, Amy's like, we're not the two fat kids from down the street anymore. Now we're the two fat kids trying to eat healthier.
Yeah, which is good.
And then we saw the throwback clip to Tammy putting the whipped cream in the large bowl.
Yeah,
I did not even recognize the two of them. I couldn't believe
they look so different.
Yeah,
and their attitudes and stuff. Just, I mean, it's just there's so much emotional growth between last season and this season. That there's just so much to catch up on. It's crazy.
Yeah, even the banter with like the pickles.
Yep. Well, we know what their preferences are. I like all pickles.
I hate pickles. I hate pickles with a passion. I passionately hate pickles. There are like 3 things in this world I can't eat. Pickles, blue cheese. What's the other one? I can't think right now. It's probably so disgusting I can't even think of it. Anyways,
it'll come to you because I remember there's another one.
Yeah, so you remember me.
Yeah, I know that there's another one. You and blue cheese, I know very well.
Disgusting.
Let's take
Katrina's dying over here.
Back. We'll take a break while I die.
Hey guys, Hetero Life Mate here. Drizzly, we've talked to you about this before. Drizzly is the go-to app to get drinks delivered, especially during the holidays. They offer one of the widest selections of beer, wine, and spirits available, and the shop's curated. There's gift guides, there's recommendations from experts, and you can discover drinks from all of your holiday festivities delivered right to your door with Drizzly. The mistletoe margarita, the Scrooge driver, the North Pole punch. Which drink is best for the holidays? The answer? All of them. And luckily, you can get everything you'll need delivered with Drizzly, the go-to app for drink delivery. Whether it's classics like the Bullier Bourbon, Don Julio Reposado, or Cattell One, or something new, fruitcake flavored tequila, anyone? They really have it. Okay, maybe not that. But you can get the drinks that you do want to match any holiday festivity on Drizzly. Sending a gift to your family, friend, or coworker, hosting some friends for an ugly sweater party, restocking your bar, you name it, Drizzly has you covered. Shop curated gift guides, get recommendations from experts, and get more on Drizzly. So download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com to choose your drinks today. Must be 21 plus, not available in all locations.
So we're back.
So we see Caleb in rehab saying he needs to crack down on his weight loss and that he's been missing Tammy. They've been talking every day, but he's emotionally eating without her there. Which I think
he hasn't had the change that she has had.
Yeah. And again, I forgot when you mentioned last episode that he found her in rehab and came to her. So was he really going to rehab to better himself, or was he going to rehab to connect with Tammy? I don't know. But
right.
Without her there, he's not. He's like Tammy, how Tammy used to be before Tammy had the aha moment,
Before she had her moment of clarity, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone is getting ready to go to Tammy's housewarming party. Amy said that Michael is sick, so he's not coming to the party, which
is probably better. Honestly, it's better. It's better that he's just not there, because as we see later in the next scene, so there's nothing, right. I mean, wasn't really a lot that happened at the party, right? Like it was like set up for the later, like, hey, let's go to Sam's Club later. And then it turned into this, oh, wait, Michael's been like this the whole time and we didn't know, like opening up like 7 years of the show that we didn't know this whole aspect was happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Mind blowing that turns out that Michael's been like this the whole time. Anyway.
Yep. Well, Amy wants to talk to Amanda to clear the air, and she apologizes, talking about how her emotions all over the place. And Amanda says it's not your problem that, or there's not a problem. And I'm sorry, let me say that again. Amanda said there's not a problem with admitting that you need help and that she thinks it's depression, but she needs to get to the root of the problem. And I didn't know, and maybe you didn't know either before, that Michael didn't work. Did you not know that until this episode?
No, I didn't know any of this. Like this, so they bring up that. So we learn in this next, this whole scene, this that Michael doesn't work. All he does is play video games. He doesn't do anything with the kids. And it's not that he's just sits around looking useless. He's even worse than just sitting around being a useless bump on a log, right? He actually goes further than that, and he controls her.
Right.
She can't go anywhere, do anything without his permission, without her own debit card. He keeps there's so much financial abuse, financial control, all of this stuff. And the thing that I kept saying while I was watching this the first time is, how does Michael, of all people, look at this guy who doesn't work. The best thing about him is that he kept pushing Tammy all those years in the wheelchair. That's the most redeeming thing about him.
Which he probably did just because he wanted to be around Amy and control her. Now that I look back on it,
right? Because they had
to help out.
Because Amy can't go anywhere without him, apparently. And so
he doesn't help. He's just a bump on the log,
right? So he's controlling her and all of this stuff, on top of not doing anything. So we find all this abuse and control and all of these things about him that we're like, holy shit, we didn't know all this was going on behind the scenes. But I cannot get over the audacity. It's the audacity Michael has. That guy who looks like that, who behaves like that, who doesn't have a job, has the audacity to act like controlling over Amy. Like, where do you get off? What do you have in return for that? At least, people in abusive or controlling relationships, so there's at least some redeeming factor about that person that you love, right? Even if you shouldn't, there's nothing redeeming about this guy. How does he have the audacity to do this? That's what I just kept.
That's a good question. And my question is, two parts. One, A-B, 1, 2. Did production know and see the signs? How much of it was hidden?
Right.
And if they did know, did they edit the show in a way to fit the narrative of look at how supporting he is up until this point? You know, because we did see a good light of Michael. We
Right.
saw a good edit leading
Yeah.
up until recently, right? Until after Glenn was born, I'd say.
Yeah.
So did they know or did they not know? How did they
Or
edit
maybe
it?
he wasn't really like this until the kids were born, or
I don't.
maybe it
I
wasn't as noticeable before the kids were born, or now that there's 2 kids here, maybe it's even worse. Like now that it's like maybe it's just gotten worse.
yeah, maybe he felt like he was losing control because now there are 2 kids and a wife, and
And I
he
don't want to
became even
say
more.
that with my comments about the audacity of him, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, if he was better looking or had a job or whatever, it would be okay to do what
Right.
he's doing. Never okay. It's never okay.
Right.
I don't want that. I don't want I don't want it to seem like that.
Katrina supports a handsome abuser.
I support
No.
abuse if you're okay looking. No, I do
No,
not
no, no,
support
no,
abuse in
no.
any shape or form. Usually I'm just used to seeing it with the more guys who are more charming, have more charisma, you know?
I mean, I don't think it got from where it was to where it is now just overnight. I mean, I think they've been together for a while and it was probably slow building, a slow fire, right?
When someone has that kind of financial control and that kind of financial abuse, it's a long time grooming to get that trust process such that it is that she would be in that position, right? Like you said, it doesn't happen overnight, and it's a grooming process, and the victim doesn't, I don't think, realize that what is happening, you know, because these perpetrators are so good at the way that they groom it, and it is a long, slow burn. Like you said, it didn't get to this point where he's keeping her debit card away from her overnight. It didn't go from that. It had to take a while to get there, and that is a process of the perpetrator breaking down that person. You know, he's breaking her down even further and further, breaking down her self-esteem, breaking down all of those things that abusers break down in order to gain the control that they need. You know?
And he's lazy at the same time. So he's doing all that to control. And I like a part of me is like wondering, why does he want her to take the kids with her when she leaves the house? And I'm like, is it because A, he's worried that maybe she'll, you know, can't get into too much trouble, can't meet a guy with kids, or can't, you know, cheat on him, or B, he just wants the kids out of the house so he can play his video games in silence.
I think some of that. I think there's some of that because she talks about that. I mean, there's so many layers on this, right? Because it was the one scene where he's like, she's asking him permission. Can I go out with my sisters if I take both of the kids with me? Like, what the actual fuck is happening?
Right.
And he has to sit and think about it. Like, there's so many things wrong with that. Like, no, you should be able to leave both kids at home and go out with your sisters.
Yes.
Like that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And she wasn't even asking that. She was asking just to go out. And that's how you could see how controlling he is, because it wasn't a situation of like him saying no to leaving the kids with him, which would still be abusive and still be asshole, but it would be a different level. It's a much more controlling, abusive situation when he doesn't even let her go out because it's a control. It's less about him wanting to be lazy and not take care of the kids, which, okay, if you go out, only if you take the kids with you, that's what like would be. But it's like she's begging to go out, taking the kids. Like she has to offer to take him in order to beg to go out. And he still says no. Like she can't leave her own fucking house. That's a different level of abuse on so many levels.
And you know what really disgusted me, and not really getting off topic, but a little bit. I was reading some comments on Instagram when I saw like TLC posted, you know, the trailers for the episodes and whatnot. And unfortunately, I read a lot of women commenting, she should have known who she married and decided to have kids with. I saw a lot of, this is her fault, like she should have known, yada, yada, yada. Like, and I want to make it very clear
that's victim
that it's victim blaming, number one. And also, people change. So I'm not saying he was an abuser before, but I'm saying you don't know somebody until you go through a major life event with them, period, whether it be a death, a job loss. I think that you don't know how somebody's going to react, behave. Life stressors are going to be triggers. They're going to show you who you're married to.
Right.
And having kids is the ultimate life
Yeah.
changing, your whole life is flipped upside down. That's
Yeah, like
it.
maybe if he was controlling and didn't like her going out without him before the kids, maybe you could easily, I mean, in a situation like that, I can see how you can easily push it off and blame it at, oh no, like there's nothing controlling about it. We just like spending all our time together.
And I think he did have a job before. I think maybe the show, everything, everything switched,
Maybe
right?
he changed. Yeah, he
Yeah.
absolutely and could have changed and gotten
Because
more and more abusive and controlling. I mean, who knows when this
the
started and what
victim,
kind of behavior it started with, but clearly now, I
the
mean, I'm
victim
sure that
blaming really got
the
me. I was triggered.
experts on this field would tell you, I'm sure, that this, like you said, it's not an overnight thing. Like this was a long, slow build to get to the point where he's controlling her in this way.
Yeah.
And thank God she had Amanda there, because Amanda was able to like cut through all the bullshit and just be like,
Yeah.
look, Michael, you need to help her more. You're not helping her. And right there, when they're talking about hiring a nanny, okay, she's talking about hiring a nanny when her husband doesn't work. Now, we could go and make parallels to Sister Wives all we want, but this situation is actually really sad, because it's abusive and sad versus they're just assholes on Sister Wives. You know what I mean?
I'm sitting here a full-time single mom working 4 jobs now, almost, well, pretty much 3.5.
Yeah.
Doing everything I can. And there are married couples out there where their partner doesn't even work, doesn't even be a dad. Like, I'm like, what? Like, how is
Yeah.
this?
And Amanda was like, she shouldn't need a nanny to go
No,
to therapy when she has a husband who doesn't work.
no, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and you could see how lost Amy was sort of in that moment, because and when they show it like a little bit later when she's outside talking to Amanda and she's like, well, yeah, I mean, I could go with you, but then it's just going to cause a fight. You could see how beaten down she is over this. And Amanda's like, okay, so then come home with me. And Amanda's able to cut through that bullshit, I think is really good, because Amy is so far and so deep into it, and it had been such a long, slow build that I don't think she realizes how far deep she'd gotten at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you shouldn't have to hire a nanny when your do-nothing husband could stay with the kids while you go to therapy. Like, that should be a basic tenet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they're at the house.
She doesn't even think of that. That doesn't even cross her mind that is what the solution should be. And Amanda's able to sort of cut in there and be like, no. You should help with your kids. And then when Amy is sitting there and they're trying to talk, and Gage or Glenn, one of the two of them, is running around screaming, Amy interrupts, is like, get your son. He's like right there screaming at him. And he's just like
what? What? Huh?
Looking like my dopey dog. I mean, that's an insult to my dopey dog, but
no, I get it. Totally. And then, so that was at that was at Amy and Michael's house.
Mm-hmm.
Then we cut to the party at Tammy's house, where we see the mom, Tammy and all their moms, or their mom. Oh my God, I'm having trouble today. It's been a long couple days. All the siblings were there. They're throwing a party for like a welcome home, free Tammy party. And the mom, I'm calling her the mom. I don't even remember her name. Don't care. The mom said that she told to her face, both Amy and Tammy, especially Tammy, that she thought she would chicken out of surgery, that she couldn't do it. And
they flash back to the first season, right? When they start talking about this and her going, yeah, you ain't gonna succeed. Like,
yeah.
I remember that. I remember watching that going.
Tammy's like, I just want my mom to feel proud of me. Like, she's just not a nice person. Mm-hmm. And then when she does finally say something, she says, I'm so proud that you made myself a liar. Like, no, you should be proud that your daughter was successful or is being, you know what I mean? Like, not
it's the framing. It's how she framed it. Yeah. She framed it as a reflection on herself.
Yes.
versus a reflection on her daughter's accomplishment. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
100%.
Way to prove me wrong. No, how
Yeah.
about
It's not
way to
about
be
you, Mom.
successful? Right.
Right.
Way to lose some weight and start working on your health.
Like, yeah. But that's when they flash back to that scene in the first season with Mom saying, no, y'all ain't gonna be successful.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember watching that and going, oh, okay, this makes sense of why they're like this. This was who raised them. Okay.
Yeah. Tammy
That
said
makes
all the kids have a love-hate relationship with their mom, and I can see
I
why.
just have a hate relationship
Me
with them.
too.
The Fraudcast will be right back.
Hey, Fraudcasters. With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. School's back in session, you're running around all over the place. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Relish the best of autumn with fall flavors. They're limited time only hearty comfort meals featuring seasonal veggies, meals like cranberry pecan chicken and apple Dijon pork chops, which, by the way, I just had for dinner tonight. Fantastic. Ready in just 2 minutes, they'll satisfy your fall cravings during the busy season without the hassle. You can even level up with gourmet plus options prepared to perfection by chefs ready to eat in record time. Treat yourself to the upscale meals with premium ingredients like broccolini, leeks, truffle butter, and asparagus. Head to factormeals.com/fraudcast50 and use code fraudcast50 to get 50% off. That's fraudcast50 at factormeals.com/fraudcast50 to get 50% off. Hey, Fraudcasters. I love the holidays, but shopping is always a daunting task, especially right now when life is so lifey and crazy busy and the kids' schedules are all over the place. So I was so excited when Skims announced its biggest holiday gift shop ever. This shop is going to make all my holiday shopping so easy this year, and I might get a little something for myself while I'm at it. You will find the perfect present for everyone on your list in the Skims holiday gift shop. Sisters, moms, dads, boyfriends, husbands, best friends, wives, even your pets, y'all. Skims is creating the next generation of underwear, loungewear, and shapewear. The soft lounge sleep set 2-piece pajamas in smoke sparkle print. Oh my God, these are amazing. And they come in these perfect little gift boxes ready to send. And I might pick up a set of my favorite, the cotton jersey boy short 5-pack with matching scoop bralette packs. Those are the most comfortable, and also those come in great little gift boxes ready to send too. Your favorite Skims staples like Fits Everybody Cotton, Soft Lounge, and Sleep are now available in cheerful colors and festive prints. Plus, Skims' signature holiday collections are back for the season and designed for the whole family. You've never been this cozy at home for the holidays. Collections are available in sizes double extra small to 4X for women, and unisex styles start at newborn sizing for children's styles. Skims makes holiday shopping so easy. With styles for everyone in the family, Skims Holiday Gift Shop is the destination for all of your gifting needs. Believe the hype. Skims has over 100,000 5-star reviews, and for a reason. Skims Holiday Gift Shop is now open at skims.com. Plus, get free shipping on orders over $75. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show, The Fraudcast, in the drop-down menu that follows. Hey, Fraudcasters, if you're racking your brain trying to think of the right present for someone, you're never going to go wrong with gifting the most comfortable sheets, clothing, and accessories that your friends and family have ever felt. I'm talking about Cozy Earth. Cozy Earth is the brand that has been featured on Oprah's Favorite Things 5 years in a row. And it's important to note that each year she featured a different product, whether it was the waffle bath towel bundle, the bamboo jogger pant, or their best-selling bamboo sheet set. These are made from viscose from bamboo. They're temperature regulating, and they only get softer with every wash. All Cozy Earth products can be returned or exchanged within 100 days and include an additional 10-year warranty against defects. Can you just think of all of the people on your list that would love to receive Cozy Earth on a gift, which is pretty much, I don't know, everybody? Who doesn't want the most comfortable set of sheets ever? Whether it's the best-selling sheets, the life-changing luxury pajamas, ultra-comfortable joggers, plush lounge socks, which honestly for me, you could never go wrong with those, or their premium bath towel collection, you will love shopping and gift giving at Cozy Earth. And here's our gift to you this holiday season. Go to cozyearth.com and enter code FRAUDCAST to save up to 40%. That's cozyearth.com with code FRAUDCAST. cozyearth.com. And now back to the
So
Fraudcast.
Chris made barbecue food and he made it healthier by using less sugar, etc. Now, this game that Chris brought, I was dying laughing.
Oh my God. We are
Pin the
so playing
trach
this.
on, yes, pin the trach on Tammy.
Whatever next party event that we have where it's like you and me and like when Danielle's in town, like we had a party for her 50th birthday, like the next party that we have with like everyone, Lauren and Michelle and everybody, we need to play this.
Yes, and the trachs look like penises, which made it even funnier.
It's hilarious. I was so down with this game.
I was like, this is hilarious. And then we see Amy and Tammy having their interview and the mics are hanging like, up above their heads. And Amy pulls the mic cover off of one of them in the interview. And she's like, he gave his consent. He didn't go soft. He liked it. And I was laughing so hard. I was like, oh my God.
But yes, their dynamic together was definitely missed. So
in between the anger and the fighting and the nastiness, we have these moments of hilarious comedy. Well, Amy says she feels like a single parent taking care of two boys. It really sounds like she's taking care of three boys, her husband being one of them. And Tammy's like, Amy's biggest problem is Michael, and that she's known for a while that there was something going on behind closed doors, but she didn't know everything, but she knew something was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes me think that maybe production didn't ignore it as much as they could have, because like you said, how much of this did production know and ignore? Not that they necessarily are expected to step in, but at the same time, like if you're seeing an abusive situation, I feel like there should have been more responsibility. But it is TLC, so we know they're not at all responsible with their viewing choices.
No.
About that kind of stuff.
No.
They love to put abusers on TV without any kind of anything. Because we know how many people on TLC's, like 90 Day and all the other shows, we know they're abusers and they're put on and glorified. And so it wouldn't surprise me if that happened here, but it did make me think that like maybe he just came across as an asshole in certain situations versus the family knowing, look, there's something else happening here that we're not seeing, but you can tell that it's reverberating out here in the real world. So hopefully that means that the production didn't just turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
Hoping that they just didn't know as much.
Yeah. Well, Amy said Michael's busy in the other room, so she invited her sisters. Oh, wait. We already did this. I'm just kidding. We said things out of order.
It's all right. We're all over the place. We're just talking about...
but we digress. Yes. Or I'm just reading it out of order. Okay.
So the fight about the Costco trip and the debit card.
So Amy starts crying again, saying she's trying to take care of two boys, the house and mom. And that's when Amanda was like, yeah, Michael needs to come in and let her take a bath by herself. Like, let her have a breather.
Right.
And Amanda calls Michael into the kitchen. And she said, Michael is not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's not the brightest crayon in the box. So she's like, I hope he can press the record button.
Oh yeah, because they were gonna like put this video out about, hey, we need a nanny. Which this is their approach of let's put out a video and ask for a nanny. I don't know exactly.
Well, I don't know if like one of the the care.com or whatever, they may have like a thing where you put up your own, I don't know, profile to find a nanny. Yeah. So Amy is asking Michael, like, what do you want from the nanny? Like, what do you want?
What is it that we're looking for?
Right. Oh, somebody to watch our kids? No fucking shit, Sherlock.
But what?
No fucking shit.
Do you want somebody to come over and wake them up and feed them? What is it that you need? Do they need to be taking a doctor's appointment? And you need to forget they exist? Like, what is it?
Well, it's the one thing that he's not doing. So that's what he's asking for. Watch the kids. Well, he's not doing that. Literally watching the kids. He's watching the video game.
Your child is right there. Pick up your damn child.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Triggered again. Yeah.
And so, okay, debit card.
Yes.
He's-
So, Michael said, I will help. Oh, hope. Oh, hope. And so Amy goes, okay, so I'm allowed to go with my sisters if I bring the kids. And he said, no, I already had it planned that we were going to go to Sam's tonight. And Amanda and everyone's like, no, you didn't.
So like, we're going to
like,
Evanston or whatever city in
city,
maybe Indiana. I don't know.
Yeah.
To go to Sam's Club and pick up a few things. It's not like they're going out to a club, you
right.
know.
But they are, but Sam's Club.
Oh, yeah.
It's the club in your 30s, okay? 30s, 40s. That's the only club you'll see me
you
at.
do as a parent, right?
Yeah. And Amanda says, you need to start spending time apart so you can appreciate the time that you have together. She brought up her relationship with her ex, Jason, and how she said, right. She's like, and I don't want you guys to end up like us. And so Amy then drops the bomb. That's when she drops the bomb that, hey, he has my bank cards. And so she's like, I just want to take the boys and walk away from everything. I'm really upset. And again, she's crying again. Michael starts yelling and saying, I just want to take her shopping. And Amanda's like, give her debit card right now. Then both Amanda and Amy are cornering Michael, yelling at him, saying, give us the debit card. And then Amy's like, and then he goes, I'm taking one of the boys with me. And they're like, you're not taking one of the boys with you out of the house. They're trying to kick him out of the house to get him away or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Amy yells, I'm getting a fucking lawyer. I'm done. Tammy's just kind of chilling, looking a little nervous. She said she started to panic. That's when Tammy picks up the phone and decides to call the police.
Mm-hmm.
And then Michael starts getting super aggressive, telling Amanda to put her hands on him. I'm like, okay, so now you want Amanda to get arrested for being the first person to touch you? Because that's obviously what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
yeah. And Tammy said, it's not funny, but Tammy was like, I didn't know coming home the world was going to fall apart. It's just like everything is breaking down. But you can see everything, all the repressed anger and just like frustration and sadness that Amy's been holding on to finally coming out. And I feel like she did it because she felt supported, right?
Yeah,
everyone was around.
Felt like she had Amanda's support right there, and she like felt encouraged, like, oh, wait, maybe I can say something. I can fight back.
Right. And the cameras were there. So anything that was going to go down is going to be documented.
Right.
If he was going to react in a way, which maybe he wouldn't have because the cameras are there, maybe he would have done worse, whatever. But everybody was there supporting her. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you go, girl. But I felt it in my heart. Like I literally felt her pain.
I'm so like just watching them screaming at each other. And then Tammy, the calm one in the back, calling the police, being like, yeah, my, sister's husband is what were the words that she used?
She said something about like, I don't even know.
He's out of line.
He's out of line. Yeah.
Like she didn't exaggerate what was happening and she didn't underplay it. She didn't, you know what I mean? She was just very cool, calm, and collected about like, look, he's being out of line. Looks like things are he's yelling and screaming. That like looks like things might not go well here,
Yeah.
And I just love that. I love seeing her reactions and not being all like, oh my God, please get here. They're beating on each other. They're not beating on each other yet, hopefully.
Right.
But I just love her reactions. Are just calm, cool, collected. Is like, hey, he's out of line and we need some help.
Mm-hmm. And that's the end of the episode. So we get to see what happens next week. But we do see a preview of the next episode. Caleb talking with Dr. Smith. We don't know what was said. It didn't look like a good conversation, really. Everyone wearing garbage bags to the gym. I guess they're trying to sweat out some pounds. Who knows?
I can't wait.
And then, the fight continuing at the house. So we will figure out when we find out the conclusion to the argument.
This whole thing made me think, and I'm talking to my other girls about it, and like how Amy was feeling supported, obviously, by Amanda there and having the support. If Amanda wasn't there, Amanda's like, you can come stay with me, like, or whatever. Like she's giving her the support that she needs. She's got the car, she can help her, she's got these sisters in this family that's going to help her. They're going to rally around each other and they're going to help her, which I think is fantastic. And we know that Amy does leave. We know that they get divorced. We know she's in supposedly a healthy, loving, I don't know anything about her new boyfriend, but she's not with Michael anymore, right? So, and the pictures that she's posted with the new boyfriend are like, he's like holding the kids and stuff, which is more than Michael's ever done, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt that it's a nice, healthy, loving relationship like Christine's on Sister Wives. If Amy didn't have the support of her sisters and her family, she wouldn't be able to leave. Think about how
No.
many women are in this situation. And I say women because it's primarily that, although it's certainly the other way. And don't come, not all men, me or whatever. Yes, I know men are victims in this too, but we're talking about women primarily here. And they can't leave. People, why don't they just leave? Why don't they just leave?
Right.
Because they can't. He doesn't have access to her debit card. She probably doesn't even have her own car keys. They have one car probably. Like, there are a lot of things that he's done to push her down and make it so feel like she can't leave. And even if she felt emotionally like she could, she may not physically have the resources to be able to do it if he's taking her debit card and things like that. Like, if she doesn't have access to her own money, I mean, that's why they do it, right? Just to control. And
Right. We don't know what threats are said behind closed doors.
and they
We
control
don't
your
know.
money so they can control you. So
Emotional manipulation is huge too. So it's like,
yeah,
people want to sit there and say, well, if it was me, I wouldn't, if it don't, you
why
can't have
doesn't
that
she just
mentality.
leave? I wouldn't put up with that. Okay, she can't even go to Sam's with the kids without her because she doesn't have her debit card.
Right.
Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, how is she going to do it? You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so
Or
thank
how
God
many
she had
times
her sister.
there's so many times when women or people call the police to get help and they're not helped. I mean, I'm not saying anything negatively about police, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like, maybe
There's a lot of reasons.
a lot of reasons.
They, somebody else calls the cops and then they don't press the charges because, they're terrified. How many times does a woman leave an abusive situation before she actually leaves?
Was it like 7 or something?
Yeah. But then also they're the most likely to kill her as well. So
Right.
there's this balance. Okay. Do I stay here and get beat up and whatever, all the abuse that's happened, whatever kinds of abuse that's happening? Do I stay here and put up with it? Or do I risk myself and my kids getting killed? Because we see that happen all the time. There's reason why there's so much true crime on that, because these men can't get rejected and they get rejected and they go kill these women.
Yeah.
So it's not so simple.
Sickening.
Not. So anyway, we're glad that Amy has gotten out of it, apparently.
Yes.
Looks like
And it was a shock to all of us, I think. And was it you that mentioned in the past that Michael had a history, or was I talking to somebody else? Like an arrest record or something. We gotta look that up.
Arrest record in his past, but you're triggering a memory for me from a couple seasons ago.
Yeah. And I feel like you said it, and I feel maybe I could be making that up. But I feel like there was something, so we'll have to look into that because
Yeah, because I feel like there was.
Yeah. There's more to Michael than we knew, put it that way.
Anyway, so yeah. So that's where we're at. Let's see next week and see what happens. I'm very excited for the rest of the season as these people continue to grow and shrink at the same time. See what I did there?